Humans have used mathematics, dating back to as early as 6000 BCE. Egyptians used body part as a unit of measurements, like counting with 10 fingers, which influenced the base 10 number system. Years later, from 4000 BCE to 2000 BCE, civilization in the Mesopotamia region introduced the new math concept that we still use today, like arithmetics, such as addition, subtraction, and division. The Babylonians in particular are quite advanced. Basic information about Babylon. Their history was classified into 3 periods: Old Babylonians, Neo-Babylonians, Babylonians during the Persian period. So Babylonian was an ancient cultural region in central southern Mesopotamia, present-day Iraq, with Babylon as its capital. Babylon emerged as a major power when Hammurabi created an empire out of the territories of the former Akkadian Empire.
Capital Babylon. The name Babylon was derived from Vabil or Vabilin, which meant gate of God or gate of the god. They worshipped Marduk as their supreme god. Women were given the same stature for men, and they could trade, have a profession, and even become priestess. Notable leader, Hammurabi. Babylonian women had more rights compared to other periods or other civilizations. Women in Babylon could represent themselves in court. They are entitled to run a business together with their husbands. They could own a property and pass it down to their children. They could also hold positions as priestesses, and they could be an official. So here, malaya ang mga babae na gawin ang gusto nila, compared to other civilizations na clearly defined ang role ng mga babae, which is bahay lang at mag-alaga ng anak. Famous leaders: Hammurabi, Babylonian king from 1792 to 1750 BC. Expanded the city-state of Babylon along the Euphrates River to unite all of southern Mesopotamia. His code, a collection of 282 laws and standards, stipulated rules for commercial interactions and set fines and punishments to meet the requirements of justice. Hammurabi is known for his effective leadership, and dahil na rin sa ginawa niyang 282 laws, because of this code of laws, na-regulate ng maayos yung trade, business, and the social relationship in Babylon. The next famous leader is Shamshi Adad, the 7th king of the founding Amorite dynasty of Babylon, ruling from 1750 BCE to 1712 BCE. An Assyrian king who unified Upper Mesopotamia, turned back an invasion by a Kassite army. Samsu-iluna attacked and destroyed the city of Apum, killing its king Yakun Ashar, and a year later, he seems to have attacked the city of Turka as well, possibly adding it to his kingdom. An Amorite warlord. During his time as a king, he was able to conquer lands across much of Syria, Anatolia, and Upper Mesopotamia. Dahil sa kanya, mas lumawak pa yung connections ng Babylonia at mas lumaki pa yung empire nito. The Code of Hammurabi. One of the most important works of this first dynasty of Babylon was the compilation of a code of laws. This was made by order of Hammurabi after the expulsion of the Elamites and the settlement of his kingdom. A copy of the Code of Hammurabi was found by J. De Morgan at Susa and is now in the Louvre. This code recognized that kingly power derived from God and that earthly rulers had moral duties, as did their subjects. It laid out Hammurabi's task to bring out about the rule of righteousness in the land, to destroy the wicked and the evildoers, and to fear God. Because they believe in God and goddesses and deities, meron silang paniniwala na every ruler had moral duties, and that is to maintain or to bring out yung mga tamang gawa ng nasasakupan niya. Kaakibat ng law na ginawa ni Hammurabi is ma-eliminate yung mga evildoers, yung mga nagawa ng kasalanan, and of course to fear God. Hammurabi ordered these laws recorded in a slab of stone which measures 8 feet high, copied on clay tablets so they can be disseminated to the provinces ruled by the Babylonian Empire. These laws were retributive in nature. It means an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Punishments were meted out and based on the gravity of the offense. Yung 282 Code of Laws na ginawa ni Hammurabi is nakaukit sa bato with 8 feet high. So in order to inform everyone about the laws, they copied it sa clay tablets para malaman ng lahat kung ano ba yung laws na ginawa ni Hammurabi. Lex talionis, or law of retribution, meaning an eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth. Under this system, if a man broke your bone, you are owed to break his bone too in return. So yung tindi ng punishments ay nakadepende kung gaano kabigat yung kasalanan na ginawa mo. The Code of Hammurabi. So this is the image of the 8-feet stone kung saan nakaukit yung laws na ginawa ni Hammurabi. So these are some of excerpts from the Hammurabi Code. 195. If a son strike his father, they shall cut off his fingers. 59. If a man cut down a tree in a man's orchard without the consent of the owner of the orchard, he shall pay 1/2 manna of silver. 196 to 201. If a man destroy the eye of another man, they shall destroy his eye. If one break a man's bone, they shall break his bone. If one destroy the eye of a freeman, or break the bone of a freeman, he shall pay 1 manna of silver. If one destroy the eye of a man's slave, or break a bone of a man's slave, he shall pay 1/2 his price. If a man knock out a tooth of a man of his own rank, they shall knock out his tooth. If one knock out a tooth of a freeman, he shall pay 1/3 manna of slave. System of writing. The Babylonians had a written language that they used for trade and communication. They got it from the Sumerians, who invented it. The Babylonians used the same cuneiform system of pressing triangular shapes into soft clay. They wrote in 2 different languages, the Sumerian for religious purposes and the Akkadian for official purposes. Their symbols were written on wet clay tablets which were baked in the hot sun. Because of the durability of the cuneiform tablets, much is known about their civilizations. Because their writing system is intact, they were able to write about their civilization, their interests, what it's like during their civilization, and they were able to write about their daily lives because of the cuneiform. Science and technology. Astronomy. Among the sciences, astronomy and astrology occupied a conspicuous place in Babylonian society. The zodiac was a Babylonian invention of great antiquity, and eclipses of the sun and moon could be foretold. Observatories were attached to the temples, and reports were regularly sent by astronomers to the king. The stars had been numbered and named at an early date, and we possessed tables of lunar longitudes and observations of the phases of Venus. Great attention was naturally paid to the calendar, and we find a week of 7 days and another of 5 days in use. Because of the system that they had, they were able to know and follow the movements of the stars, planets, and the moon. One of their major achievements was the ability to predict the movements of several planets. It took them logic, mathematics, and scientific process. By just simply looking at the rotation of the stars and moon, they were able to forecast the future.
Calendar system. The ancient Babylonians used a calendar with alternating 29 and 30-day months. This system required the addition of an extra month 3 times every 8 years, and as a further adjustments, the king would periodically order the insertion of an additional extra month into the calendar. With that being said, Babylonians were able to create their own calendars. Sa pamamagitan lamang ng rotation ng araw, buwan at bituin, they were able to know kung ilang araw o oras na ba ang lumipas. So sa kanilang system of calendar, required na magdagdag ng buwan 3 times every 8 years. Unlike sa atin ngayon na fix na talaga ang number of months. But then later on, na-adapt mo nila yung lunar calendar, which is they divided 1 year into 12 months, and each month was divided into 30 days. Number system. A unique number system was used based on the number 60 and not on the familiar base 10 used in most other cultures. So, Babylonians use a base of 60, unlike sa Egyptians na base 10 ang ginagamit. Babylonians refused to use the numbers with the non-terminating decimals, which are numbers with decimal that never ends. So, the base 10 number system caused issues. They find it inconvenient, especially in trading and doing business. That is why Babylonians created their own base 60 number system with their own scripture and own symbols. That base 60 number system is called sexagesimal numbers. In the sexagesimal 60 base system, there are different combinations of characters for each number from 1 to 59. Then the symbol for 1 is used again, but this time meaning 60. So the symbol for 2 also means 120. The symbol for 3 also means 180 and etc. So, in sexagesimal numbers, pag na-reach na yung number 60, ang magiging symbol na niya is yung symbol ng 1. That is why meron silang place value system na tinatawag. A place value. Compared to Egyptians who had totally separate symbols for 2 and 20 and 200 and 2000, etc., the Babylonian system used the same symbols over and over for the next higher level. So, note that we do the same but we place zeros behind them to indicate level. So, ngayon, naglalagay lang tayo ng 0 sa dulo ng number para ma-identify kung ano na yung place value, kung ano na yung value ng pera natin. Like for example, sa 2,000, naglalagay tayo ng tatlong zero sa dulo ng 2 para ma-indicate kung 1,000 na siya, ganun. The Babylonians used 2 characters only in their number system. Though there are 59 separate symbols for the numerals in a sexagesimal system, the Babylonian numbers are all written with only 2 different characters but put together in different combinations. So, dalawa lang yung character or yung symbol na ginagamit nila para mag-combine ng numbers. First is vertical, the character for 1. If the reed is turned with thick end up and the pointed end down, it is the symbol for 1. So, I have an example here below kung ano ba yung itsura ng number 1 sa Babylonian. For instance, I will show numbers from 1 to 9. As you can see on your screen, there are numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So that is how they write their numbers using their own number system. Then, what will happen naman kapag 10 na ang kasunod? How will they write it? Then, we'll proceed to the next character, which is the character for 10. Horizontal, the character for 10. If the reed is turned with the thick end to the right and the pointed end to the left, it is the symbol for 10. So, ito yung example naman kung paano nila sinusulat yung 10 sa Babylonian. For counting by 10, we have 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Notice that there is no 60 because again, this is sexagesimal number system. Kapag 60 na, ang gagamitin na character is yung sa number 1. So, how do they write this from 1 to 59? So, that is how Babylonian wrote it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So if we want to write number 11, we have to use the character of 10, which is the horizontal one, then just add 1 by using its character, which is the vertical. Therefore, 10 plus 1 is 11, 10 plus 2 is 12, 10 plus 3 is 13, and so on and so forth. Again, hindi natin makikita yung 60 kasi symbol ng 1 yung gagamitin. So how do they write it? So I looked some examples on the internet and saw this 9 times multiplication table during Babylonian period. So yung unang table is 9 times 1 is equals to 9. Next table, 9 times 2 is equals to 18. Next is 9 times 3 is equals to 27. 9 times 4 is equals to 36. 9 times 5 is equals to 45. And 9 times 6 is 54. And on the 7th table naman, there is 9 times 7, which is 63. We all know that. But we notice that there is 1 there, indicating that this is 60 and not 1. And then we can also see a little bit of space and there is a 3, which means that we have 60 and then 3. Then we have 9 times 8 is equals to 72. So we can see the symbol of 60 plus 10 plus 2 is equals to 72. So on and so forth. So ganun nila sinusulat yung numbers na more than 60 na. Why did Babylonian choose a base 60 if they can use the existing number system, which is the base 10? Here is why. Most cultures have a number system based on 10 or perhaps 5, related to the digits on our hands. But then, according to Babylonians, 10 is a poor choice for dividing evenly into parts. Fractional parts are much easier to express exactly if they are going to choose the base 60 system. So Babylonian created their own number system because they find base 10 inconvenient when it comes to trading, business, and astronomy, medicine, and other stuff. Dahil malaki nga yung sakop ng Babylonia, they have a lot of people. Mas malaki na yung market nila. If they're going to stick with base 10 number system, limited lang yung factors nun. It was only divisible by 1, 2, and 5. With that, magkakaroon ng uneven distributions between transactions. With base 60, it has a lot of factors. The number 60 can be evenly divided by many smaller numbers. Ang dami-dami niyang factors such as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 12, 15, 20, and 30 na talaga namang nagagamit nila sa pang-araw-araw nilang mamumuhay. Like for example, pagbibilang ng mga tupa, paghahati-hati sa mana, sa pagdi-divide ng kanilang hatian, and especially kapag sila ay magbabayad ng multa kapag may nagawa silang kasalanan or nalabag nila yung batas ni Hammurabi. So, very convenient talaga yung base 60 number system ng Babylonians. Also, because of that, they were able to read astronomy, they were able to create a calendar, they were able to formulate formulas in medicines, and they were able to create infrastructure and other important stuff. So, those contributions of Babylonians, some are still used up to this day. Aside from that, Babylonians are also known for their jewelry making. Jewelry making originated from the Babylonians. They use metals and precious gems in making jewelries. Farming technique. During the reign of Hammurabi, a big canal was dug from the city Kish to Persian Gulf. Herodotus, the father of history, had lavishly praised the wheat and the barley among other crops of Babylon. So dahil magaling nga sila and maalam silang mag-predict ng panahon, nakatulong yon sa kanilang pagtatanim. Pag alam nilang magandang panahon sa susunod na mga araw, dun sila nagfa-farm. And syempre, may mga indicators din kung kailan sila pwedeng mag-ani. So since they believed in gods and goddesses, popular na that time yung pag-aalay para maging maganda yung proseso ng kanilang pagtatanim. That is why maganda ang taging takbo ng kanilang pananim. And malulusog yung kanilang mga root crops. This is Gian Bianca Escancina, Rose Ann Cruzado of BSBA FM 2B, your presenter. And that summed up our presentation about Babylonians. If you want to know more, we drop the link that you can use in order to explore other informations about Babylonians. Thank you!